you're a football fan, you're a basketball fan, and you're not subscribed to Prrrr yet, Charlie, what you did do? Yes, I'm talking to you. If you're not subscribed to Prrrr yet, kindly hit the subscribe button, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this video. My name is Slimon. Welcome to another basketball edition of Prrrr today. Charlie, agenda set. Tides are changing. Everything is changing. Tables are turning. And so is the Warriors and the Kings series. Last week, we sat here with, I think, most of these guys, and some of them were like, Charlie, Kings will take the series. But everything has turned. It's now 2-2. When we go back to the Chase Center, Warriors showed why they are one of the best teams when they play at home. Felix, Warriors versus Kings, game 4. A very close game. Warriors just won by a point, but it was a very high-scoring game. What happened?
Again, it comes back to adjustments. Just like Steve Kerr did in game 3, he adjusted again in game 4. And I think for game 4, Draymond Green was a secret weapon.
Draymond wouldn't play game 3.
It's funny because we bashed Draymond in game 2 that he was a hostile guy. He didn't do what he let the team down and all that. But in game 4, I think he told Steve Kerr that he wants to sit out. He wants to sit there and come off the bench. And it worked. When he came, he blocked Sabonis. He took Sabonis out of the game. And before,
that was very
before Draymond Green came on, this guy was killing them.
Yeah, Sabonis.
No, not Sabonis. De'Aaron Fox was killing them. I think he was like 20 points already before Draymond Green came. But when Draymond Green came, he was able to guard him. He silenced him. And later, he was able to silence Sabonis too. Sabonis went for about 14 points in the game. That's unlike Sabonis. And his rebounds was very poor. So Draymond Green, really stabilized the team. And again, adjustments. Steve Kerr was very, very good.
Well, interestingly, we saw the Kings play the Warriors in game 3, and it wasn't that close as game 4 was. But, Kobe, what do you think happened to the Kings this time around? And then they lost that game, even though they played well.
Okay, I actually think it's the defense. Defending Golden State, it takes a toll on you. You have to be running around. Now, you play game 1, you play game 2. Your body is tired. Obviously, it's going to give out. You can't keep running. And with Golden State, running around, their plays are built on running around. And they've drilled it into their system. So they can run around all day and never get tired. But you have to adjust to them. And I think that has taken a toll on them. And Draymond Green, obviously, just like my brother said, he was amazing. I mean, he came in, he lets everyone, that's why I like him. Immediately he enters the game, he lets everyone know, like, I'm going to be hostile.
Yes, all right.
So he set the tone for the refs. Even if it's hostile, sometimes it's overlooked because the player already set the tone for that to actually, set up. So sometimes they overlook some of the things that he does. So Draymond just was, let me say, Draymond.
Well, speaking of how the Golden State Warriors offense play out and running around, Mike Brown was an assistant on the Warriors. Don't you think that should give at least the Kings an advantage? He should be able to let the Kings know that this is the system and he should be able to defend against that.
Okay, I actually think that offensively, Kings are very matched up to the Golden State Warriors. They are because if you watch the fourth quarter, the third quarter against the fourth quarter, they matched them. They were scoring. Even game 1, you could all see how they matched up to them. Fox was doing threes like it was nothing. You understand? So offensively, they are at it. But that is where the edge in this actual series is Steve Kerr. He actually shows he has the championship pedigree. He has the experience to beat anyone.
So you think the biggest factor is surely going to be the coach?
Of course.
Interesting. So Teddy, now Kings played arguably their best game at the Chase Center because in game 3 they didn't play very well. I think Fox stepped up. We saw Malik Monk didn't have the best of games, but it was okay. Sabonis also played well. But what do you think went wrong for the Kings this time around? They just lost by a point.
I won't say what went wrong for them, but shout out to Kevin Hunter because, like he said, Dean, Clay, and Steph, you have to be running the whole series, the whole time. And like he said, it takes a toll on you. You get tired. But then this guy has been Dean, Steph, and Clay running around. And then we can arguably say that Steph has been playing his best basketball in his 30s than in his 20s. And that's been a factor for them this series. And then Fox got hit, but then now he says Kobe mentality. On best of it, he wants to play. And this is what playoffs is all about.
Yeah.
And I think Paul George and Kawhi should take something out of this. Oh yes, they should take something out of this because you know if you sit, you have to play. You have to play. We need you.
We hear you. Now, Yusuf, they come to you. Now, yesterday, Milwaukee Bucks versus the Miami Heat was decided by one man and one man only. Jimmy G buckets. Yes, Jimmy Butler did everything, scoring about 56 points in what some people consider to be one of the greatest Heat performances in the playoffs. Now, Teddy, you say Butler no go Phoebe. the number one option on a championship team. Has he changed your mind now?
Oh no, still. He hasn't. I'm not saying he's not good. Butler is good, but my point is he's a second seat. He's a Robin. He's not a Batman. That's what I'm trying to say.
He took his team to the finals.
It doesn't matter. Any fool can take his team to a finals. Please relax.
Which fool can take his team to a final?
Please. The thing is, for the Bucks right now, you see, it's Middleton. Giannis is out. Middleton just came from a long-term injury, and then he did recover, and then we just zoomed into the playoffs. He needed time to heal. He needed time to get back into his groove. And Drew Holiday has been very trash this series, and then they need him. They really need him. Oh yes, they really need him. And then with Giannis being on and off and on, bro, what are you doing?
Well, Felix, what impressed you the most about that Miami victory?
I think Teddy's making excuses for the Bucks. He's making a lot of excuses for the Bucks. We are far. Bro,
2021 champion too.
If you look at the Bucks team, they have three of the best defensive players in the league.
Come on, Lopez.
They have Brook Lopez, who was finals. He was top 3 in the defensive players recently. They have Drew Holiday, who everybody knows is an elite defender. And they have Giannis, who won defensive player about 2-3 years ago. So I think I'm making excuses for them, and I think it's high time you give Jimmy his roses, bro. Because Jimmy is a bucket. I don't know what Teddy has again. I think it's personal. I don't know. I don't know.
It might be.
I tell you, I think it's personal. But Jimmy came out. He was hooping. And one thing with the Miami Heat is they've surrounded the guys. They surrounded Bam and they surrounded Jimmy with a lot of shooters. Yeah. So whatever it is, if Jimmy is not going, I mean, they have shooters. They have people who can shoot. And Jimmy is also a good rebounder. They have Bam, who's also a good rebounder. So I think he's making excuses for the Bucks. The Bucks they didn't come to play. Yeah. Middleton, we don't care about excuses, bro. This is the playoffs. Playoffs, if you step up, Kobe ankle breaks every day.
My problem is, you see, I think Bucks can come and win this.
We go get there. Very, very soon. Now, Kobe, Charlie. They say make we day your talk because your team they flop Barca. Grizzlies versus Lakers.
Okay.
Went back to LA for those 2 games and they've lost all the 2 games. Yeah. Do you think it's impossible for them to come back now? And what do you think went wrong for them in game 3?
I actually think it's a matter of let's say the team. Somebody has to step up. Jaren Jackson Jr. was good in our first game against the Lakers, but I think he's become passive. And Ja is also not getting shots to fall. I actually don't think it's because of his injury.
But
because
in game three, he scored really well.
He scored and he was hurt. So I feel like they don't know what is actually who is supposed to take the helm and just steer the ship. That's the same thing where the Bucks. Middleton has to heat up. Giannis has to hit. Somebody has to take the helm and just steer. Yes. That's what is actually going on. And now, the Lakers are playing amazing basketball. Their defense. If you watch the game, both LeBron James and Anthony Davis were in the paint all the time. I actually thought that the refs didn't call the 3-second violation. They weren't calling it because all the time Anthony Davis.
Because they know Morant likes getting it.
Exactly. So they were there for him. So it was just a perfect plan to just get Morant out. Still, they got some points off, but I just actually love defense more than offense. And that's what actually won their game. And I mean, LeBron James, Alaji LeBron is always Alaji LeBron. Alaji LeBron.
Now, we know for the NBA, the league is driven by star power and how well your stars can perform in the playoffs. Now, the biggest of stars of them all, LeBron James, showed us why he's the king of them all. What impressed you most about the Lakers' victory?
Bro, to start off, I'll give credits to the Grizzlies. Bro, we are fighting the West. Come on. I'm giving credit to that. But thing is, the way the Grizzlies play, they rebound a lot because they have two tall players. They have Javier Tillman and they have Jaren Jackson Jr. Yeah. And I think going into this game, they put LeBron on Jaren Jackson Jr. Yeah. So LeBron guarded Jaren Jackson Jr. the entire game, and LeBron ended up averaging about 20 rebounds a game, right? So that's one of their game plans. And remember that when we spoke about this the other time, we said that LeBron has to step up.
Yeah.
Right? And I think he did.
He did.
He did.
Yeah.
Very, very
He
big
did
game.
it so well, and they defended so well, you know. And this time they didn't run the offense on just Anthony Davis. LeBron was involved. He just took just like Miami LeBron all over again.
Yeah.
And if you are being honest, LeBron hasn't gone for any 2020 in his career. So I don't know if this is a farewell for LeBron. This is epic because you know he did so well, and like I just want to give shout outs to LeBron James.
Well, Teddy, now some people give credit to LeBron, but other people are also looking at the Lakers role players, Rui Hachimura, Dennis Schroeder. We can talk of Austin Reeves, who have been very, very big. What do you think was the biggest X factor for the Lakers winning the 2 games on home court?
LeBron. Obviously, if you want to win a match and you have LeBron and he's not stepping up, he has to step up. And then he came up, gave them 22 in a night, which is a big thing for them. He was the second scorer apart from Austin Reeves. But then you see, there's one problem I have with the Grizzlies team. They are immature, especially with Ja. We are playing a series of 7. Bro, relax. Why do you want to dunk on AD every time? Why do you want to dunk on LeBron? Like we just start, you want to dunk. Relax.
Fact.
And he's hurt. And you see, that's immature. That's so immature of them. And I think they need time to grow out of some of their antics.
I would also want to give some credit to the role players. Yeah, in the game 4, AD was very passive.
Yeah.
He was very passive, even though he played very well defensively, but he was very passive. But thanks to Hachimura and Reeves for stepping up, because those guys have been balling like non-stop since the series started. And I think it's because of LeBron James. I mean, his basketball IQ is just rubbing off of them. Like immediately they get a ball, they know what they are about and they know what they are supposed to do. So I would love to just give credit to those 2 guys.
Now, we don't move straight to my Clippers. Well, I would have said George and I's Clippers, but if you like George sell out, my Clippers we've lost the game. Charlie, we do gallant efforts. Now we go house, we go Cancun. Now we lost game 5 in the Valley to the Phoenix Suns, who were absolutely balling. Now Devin Booker deserves his credit. Now I don't want us to get into that game too much, but the question on the table is: in 2019, the Clippers acquired Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and since then the experiments they work. Honestly, the only achievement I would say is the Western Conference Finals, where they got beat by the same Phoenix Suns, where it was only Paul George. We haven't been able to see Kawhi Leonard and Paul George in the Ty Lue era. So Felix, let me start with you. Do you think they should blow up this experiment?
I think it should be blown out. They spent like 4 seasons together, and in 4 seasons they've played just 142 games.
Just look at that.
In 4 seasons.
Come on.
And Kawhi,
and then they're one of the highest earners in the league.
Yeah. And you know, it goes back to this because when Kawhi decided to come to LA, the picks the Clippers gave out to acquire Paul George at OKC was a lot.
It was big.
And these are like first round picks. It was a lot of picks. So I think they should just cut their losses and move on, because you can't have Kawhi Leonard healthy for a whole season. It's impossible.
Very.
And you can't have Paul George healthy the whole season. It's also impossible. And these are 2 max contract players, you know, and they take a lot. And you know, the way the Clippers team is built, if these 2 guys were healthy, you guys would like probably be the best
Exactly.
team.
The if statement again.
Yeah, if you guys were healthy, you probably be there. But like again, it's injuries. Paul George today, my shoulder, my this. And Kawhi is always. I don't know what's happening to Kawhi, but after
he's a robot, he needs an update.
You think we should blow up the team?
Oh yeah, they should blow up the bromance, because they've been since Kawhi was in Toronto. They've been load managing him for a while. He played 60 games in the regular season, but then he came up big. But then you guys need him. I think they should blow up the bromance. And with Paul George too, he came from a long-term injury, and then you guys acquired him. Yeah. And I think the injury is taking a toll on him. It comes here and there. Yeah. But then JJ Redick said something. He said some players are good, but then they are not a fit together. Just like Westbrook wasn't a fit in LA.
With the Lakers.
So I think you guys should cut your losses and just end the trauma. Finally, Kobe.
Yeah. You think we should split up?
Well, I think they should stick together for maybe a year or 2. When Kawhi was in Toronto, he played 24 all the 24 postseason games. But with these 4 years, he's played at least 26.
Yeah.
you could see he's not, and some people were saying he was the worst superstar ever.
yes,
Not saying he's the worst player, but
The worst
his
superstar.
He's a superstar. We know what he can do. We know the kind of things that Kawhi brings to a team, right? We saw the game one. Charlie, this guy was both defensive, but he's not available. And availability is one of the best qualities of any athlete.
True.
So I think with Westbrook coming in, Westbrook is doing so much well. He's averaging like 22 points per game in this playoff.
Very, very
so
big.
he's playing very, very well. So I think maybe he's brought a new fire to them, and they should just, run it back with him.
Now, coming from a Clippers fan who has been wailing and crying about all the woes about the Clippers, I think we should stick with them with another year because they're left the last year on the contract. And besides, Steve Ballmer and co are building the new home court into its dome in 2024. We need stars to be able to bring the fans to the court. So I feel like Paul George and Kawhi should try that for one last season. And for Russell Westbrook staying on the team with the way his contract is and the money issues, because I know with cap space, the Clippers are really limited with cap space, so I think it's going to be a bit difficult to keep Westbrook on the team. But let's see how that goes from there. Now, today, this Boston Celtics, they say TD guarding me fortress. Teddy say, it be that deal. Trae Young hit you guys with the dagger. What do you have to say about that?
Marcus Smart.
See how on it.
Bro, why are the Atlanta Hawks leading us 1 point? You are D'ing up Trae Young, he's bringing the ball, and then you foul him. It doesn't make any sense. And you send him to the free throw line. Why? Marcus Smart, why?
Hey, Charlie.
And then he sets a screen.
For Smart.
He sets a screen, and then he's screaming at the refs. Why you do? No, Marcus Smart is our problem.
No,
Charlie Felix.
I disagree. I don't think it's just Marcus Smart. I think it's our whole team yesterday. Our defense
Was it complacency a bit?
I don't think it was. I don't know. Maybe a little bit. But as the entire team, I mean, we had just one steal yesterday in the whole game. And this is the Boston Celtics we are talking about. We are top 2 defense, we are top 2 offense in the league. I think we should stamp our feet and dominate. But you can't play Atlanta Hawks and not play defense. I mean, this Atlanta Hawks we are talking about. Even the Miami Heat would have swept them by now.
Easy.
And this is Boston Celtics,
Easy.
so the guys should step up and get
Charlie.
No game seven.
The
No game 7.
The devil is a lie. You want cheat, you want suspend now. We'll go back to the A. Now, Kobe, what do you think went well for the Atlanta Hawks? Because for majority of the game, it seems like they're on the losing end, but all of a sudden, Trae Young with the dagger.
Yeah, I'm going to say this again. Sometimes these playoffs that we are playing, especially in the close games, somebody has to step up. I just closed the game. See, Jaylen Brown was doing very good in the second quarter. Then Jason Tatum took over in the third quarter. We could see some things. You guys have depth. You guys have everything. Sometimes you just have to say, okay, let's just finish this. But I think complacency was one. And there are a whole lot of things that were good. Like, I was watching Jaylen Brown and was like, dude, he wasn't even trying to square up in the corner and get a 3. Oninamu, you understand? So I think they should have just said, okay, let's just finish this. We are not going to. And besides, they are also in our home. You understand? They are in our arena. So you just finish this. But I think they just let complacency and other things.
But to add to what you just said, I think Jaylen Brown was phenomenal yesterday.
Very.
Yesterday the defense was terrible.
I know, but he did well.
He did so well.
Since he was playing well, he should have just finished it. That's what.
Just put the
Bro,
ball
and you know that
exactly.
in the playoffs, it's defense. Defense wins games in the playoffs. So even if you go for 100 points,
No,
that's what I admired about Jimmy Butler. Even though he was playing offense, he was playing
very good defense.
So now, finally, before we go, there has been a lot of upsets. We've seen the number 1 seed, the Milwaukee Bucks, who've gone 3-1 down to the Miami Heat. So now the final question is, who do you think is likely to overturn the 3-1 deficit? Is it going to be the Bucks, the number 1 seed, against the number 8 seed Miami Heat? Is it going to be your own Grizzlies against the Lakers, who are going back to home court? Will they be able to overturn the 3-1 deficit? Is it going to be the Cavs, who interestingly everybody had over the Knicks, and are going back to Cleveland to try to overcome that quickly? Felix. Wow.
Yeah. So who do you think Spider Mitchell has been asleep the whole time. I don't know what's happening to Spider. But if anybody can overturn this, I think it's the Bucks. Because to be honest with you, Jimmy can't keep up this performance. No. I mean, I'm rooting for Jimmy, but he can't keep up this performance. Charlie, we remember the bubble to the back. I remember
playing 48 minutes.
So exhausted.
Like he couldn't keep it up.
Yeah,
And that's the thing with the playoffs. Charlie, we are talking about Brook Lopez, we are talking about Giannis, and we are talking about so it's hard. He can't keep it up. And at the same time, Giannis is coming back. And we know who Giannis is. We know what Giannis can do. He's one of the most dominant players the league has ever seen. Yeah. So he's coming back. I don't think he'll keep it up.
Felix thinks when they go back to Phase 4, maybe the Bucks can start the comeback. Teddy, who do you think is overturning the deficit?
So the Miami, they've lost Oladipo.
You if you not talk Miami, the way they like
I don't know why.
They've lost Hero. And then, like you said, you can't keep up with the 50-something points every night on Giannis. I think the Bucks are going to come back and they are going to win.
Bobby, who do you think is overturning?
Okay, someone would think I would say the Grizzlies, but Charlie, come on. I know they can win a game or two, but I don't think they can. And with the Knicks, I'm really impressed with them. They just outplayed, and Mitchell Robinson is just destroying Mobley in the paint. Yeah. You understand?
Grabbing the ball left and right.
No. So I think I'm also going to go with the Bucks. They can do it. I think they can maybe just come back from it. 3-3, then maybe the decider will be maybe Game 7.
Seems like all of our pundits here today are going for the Milwaukee Bucks to overturn things. It seems like it's going to be a done deal for the Lakers and the Knicks. Let me know in the comment section if you think that is the right decision. But what a wonderful conversation. We had a lot to talk about in the NBA playoffs, and there's more to come. Agenda will set to play. They make you not go anywhere. Kindly subscribe to the Prrrr channel. There's more content coming your way. Today I did this with Felix, Teddy, and Kobe, bringing you all the analysis on the NBA playoffs. We sign out by saying subscribe to the channel, like the video if you like the video. Peace out.